Just taking a look at the blade on this Lander after I've carried and used it. Definitely dirty, but the edge has held up really good. I haven't cut anything super hard with it. Mostly opening boxes, and I cut a few things. I cut some hose at work, and just some plastic and cardboard packaging. So the blade design is really well done. It's very thin at the edge, and it goes through stuff really well. No problems with that. It has held an edge good. I mean, it's S35, so it should. I haven't had to touch it up. Now that I'm cleaning it up and probably start reviewing another knife, I think I will just resharpen it. For knives like this, I tend to prefer a 17 degree per edge, or per side edge. I find that works really well, and it allows most knives to hold up and not chip or roll or anything. It's always that balance there. I could go steeper, but then you wind up with a delicate edge, and then I don't think that's any good either. I don't want to do damage. I'd rather just the knife go dull and I can just touch it up real quick on a strap. WD-40 cleaned it right up. There was some adhesive on there, but WD-40 eats that adhesive. It's a great cleaner. And looking back at one of the rust preventative tests that I did, the WD worked really good to protect against rust too. So I don't think, especially not on a stainless blade, you're going to have to worry about that if you keep your knife wiped down and maintained at least somewhat regularly. Maybe wipe it down if you do anything really harsh to it, like skin a game animal, or use it on lemons and things like that. Just wipe it off. But yeah, it held up really good. So my thoughts: the action is great. It's nice and smooth, rides on bearings. And the size is, oops, it's hard to do on camera. The size is pretty good. It definitely handles all of the normal chores that I needed it to do. The point is fairly acute. So when I wanted to penetrate straight into something, it went in easily. I think that's one benefit of a clip point style. There's other styles that will too, but I do like that clip point style with the point right near the center of the handle. The pocket clip was a little bit of a question mark in my head. There's a lot of positives about it, with the recessed screws and being deep carry. But you can look at that and see that. Let's see if I can get this black. It looks like this part is got so much pressure that it's actually raising up this just a touch, doesn't it? And so when I saw that, I was a little bit concerned that this might really bind and be hard to get in and out. But honestly, I had no issues with that at all. These scales are fairly smooth. There's no texture to them. They feel good. And even now I have a little WD-40 on them. They're not super slick. But they're not, they don't have any grippiness that's going to tear your pocket up either. The pocket clip is smooth, polished. All the edges are rounded. And it's wide. So, being that it's wide, smooth, and polished, pushing on these scales, this thing flies in and out of my pocket with no issues at all. I was pleasantly surprised. The car scratcher here on the end did make it very easy to slide over the pocket and get down in there. And then when I wanted it, it was easy just to grab this and pull it straight out of my pocket with no issues. I do like the color of the scales. It's not something you see all the time, and it goes well with the color of the thumb stud and the liners. However, being as the Lander series is really based upon having the scales be easily interchanged, I'll probably go and look and just see if there's any other scales that really speak to me anyway. And if I do find something I really like, maybe I'll get them. The scales for the Landers are not expensive at all. If I had a 3D printer, then you can print your own. There's tons and tons of plans out there for them. But if I see something cool, I might swap these out and just film me doing it, because I've never swapped the scales on a Lander before, so it'd kind of be neat to film the first time. That'll really show how hard it is if I can do it first try and right on camera. But I might take a look at that. But even if I don't, I do like the look of the knife. The function of the knife, like I said, was great. I don't really have any complaints. I generally like to have a knife be somewhat easily grippable when I'm using it. And it seems like these smooth scales would work against that, but they really don't. This does have just enough grip that it never came into play. I never felt I needed any more. And the size was nice. Rides in the pocket. It's unobtrusive. The crossbar lock is great. One of my favorite locking systems. I have quite a few crossbars, and I've never had an Omega spring fail. I know some people have, but I have not. The clip, even though I was a little dubious at first, it works really well. No problems there. Probably doesn't have to be quite as long as it is, but it doesn't bother me. When it's open, the way that clip falls, for my hands anyway, it never bothered me. So yeah, there's the Knafs Lander 3. Just a few thoughts after I've used and carried it a little bit. I definitely think it's a really nice knife. There's nothing stand out or remarkable, but that's true of all of Ben Peterson's designs. He likes to design a nice generic. I don't know if you call it generic though, but just a nice knife. He doesn't go for any wow factor. He just designs a nice quality usable knife. I like on the heel of the blade here, When it's seated, that's just a nice smooth transition too. Yep. Anyway, that's my thoughts after some time with this in my pocket and actually going out using it in and out. I think it's a nice knife. So I wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger on one if you're interested. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you with the next one.